faith again that Abraham is showing us. We can learn, I can't stress enough how much we can learn from Abraham here. There's so many situations that, that we have doubt about. Whether it be sickness in our family, whether it be, a job situation, whatever the situation may be, whether it be a troubled marriage, the devil will use doubt and fear as his tool to turn these things against us and to get our mind going, to see what he will do. And as Christians, we're guilty of that. We're guilty of listening to what the devil has to say. We're every single one guilty of it. We're all guilty of letting the devil control us sometimes. Because there's so many situations where we don't have that same exact faith that Abraham has. Abraham truly believed that God would provide that sacrifice. When I read this is what built me up for this. If God called me to do this, God was going to provide a way. God is going to provide me the word. God is going to provide me the knowledge to get up here and do this. I'm so thankful that that God's done this, and I can't thank Him enough for what He's doing in my life and for everything. And it's my prayer daily, that I had to build that faith, build that obedience that Abraham had, that Abraham showed. So lesson number 4 is obedience both relies on God for strength and expects God to deliver. Think about that for a second. We rely on God for our strength, and we believe God is going to deliver. Amber, with your mom, we rely on God for strength. And you know what? We're trusting and believing that God is going to deliver. In these broken marriages, in these broken homes, in these sickness in the families, we rely on God and we believe that He's going to move. If we don't believe, we're wasting our time. If we don't believe when we pray, what we're praying and what we're asking for, we're wasting our time. There's no use of us in even praying, to even lifting our hands and calling out to God if we don't think He can move. Abraham, he believed. He relied on God and he believed that He would deliver. If you look at verses 12 through 14, it says, "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your only son." Abraham looked up there in the thicket, and he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went and took the ram as a sacrifice, as a burnt offering, instead of the son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." That's just really big right there. Because I'd say, Abraham, I think, knew that that God was going to provide a way, but I think still the devil was telling him, "You're getting ready to kill your son." He had the knife in his hand. At that point, he was probably starting to think, maybe this is really what's going to happen. Maybe this is what's going to happen. But, right in the nick of time. That's why God's an on-time God. He will always show up when we think He's not going to show up. He'll always show up when we need Him to. And as Christians, we don't let our faith hold that same accountability. We expect God to move, but at the same time, we don't think He can move. How many of us are guilty of being in a situation and truly in our mind pray about it, but just think, I don't know if this could happen. God's a miracle. God is a miracle worker, and He's the same today as He was yesterday and tomorrow. So if God could do these things then, He's still doing them now, and He's still going to keep doing them. So lesson number 5, what God requires, He will provide. Let that sink in too. Anything that God asks you to do, God's going to provide the way to do it. God provided me the way to get up here. God gave Gerald the confidence in me to be able to do this. And you all have been such a support to me. You all tell me how good I do and everything, and that means the world to me. If it wasn't for that support and that confidence that you all entrust and build in me, I wouldn't be up here doing this. And that's God working through you all. That's God working through people. God will provide a way. No matter what the situation, if God has called you to do something, He will provide the way for you to do it. He will not let you down. He's a good God. He's a mighty God. And also, I don't want to overlook the fact that I want to think about Isaac for a second. A lot of times when we talk about Abraham and Isaac, we focus on what Abraham done, on what Abraham was called to do. Have you ever sat down and think about Isaac? You know, when I heard this story as a kid, I think I assumed that Isaac was probably a 6, 7-year-old kid and that he was just along for the ride. But you know, I dove into this, and it says in here that at one point when they left their servants, that Abraham gave all the firewood to his son to carry. Now think about that. This is a big sacrifice. So that requires a lot of firewood. No 7-year-old child could carry all this firewood up this mountain. So I started thinking, how old is Isaac? And I started researching and diving into this more. And you know, many Bible scholars believe he was probably 17, 18 years old. And I thought to myself, wow, what about his obedience? Nobody ever talks about Isaac's obedience in this situation.